Aaron Rodgers, man. It never ends. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. I have no idea where Aaron Rodgers stands with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I do know this, that yesterday, Tom Pelissero of NFL Network dropped, I think, the most surprising piece of the news cycle when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and everything that is going on. He says on the Jim Rome show, quote, Aaron basically invited himself on a visit last week. He was in the building for several hours. He watched tape with the coaches. The deal has been in place contract-wise for weeks. They've discussed parameters. This is not going to be a financial issue at all for Aaron Rodgers. If it gets done, it's going to be a one-year deal, which we have been saying the entire time. This was a get-to-know-you meeting. Everything there sounds positive, I can tell you. Aaron has kept a dialogue with various members of the organization, coaches, other players. There's been communication like this in something. There's been communication like this is something he's really going to do at this point right now, sitting here in late March. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the only opportunity that Aaron has. Two parts of this, I think, are surprising. One much more surprising than the other. The fact that there's an open dialogue between both sides, I think, is surprising because, to be honest, what are you talking about? I think that's where I stand on that one. What's the conversation at this point? What are you possibly going back and forth text-wise with when it comes to guys like Pat Freiermuth or DK Metcalf or Mike Tomlin? There's no chance you're sitting there going, yeah, guys, let's talk game plan. Let's talk it's been 3 weeks. Nobody has any idea what's going on. How much more convincing do you need? And at what point do you run out of pitches and recruitment to put in there? And the dialogue must turn into, yeah, let's do this when let's train here. Let's focus on this on the offense. I think we could do these kinds of things. This is the cool food in Pittsburgh. This is where the hippie latte place is. I don't know what you could possibly be saying to these people after 3 weeks. I think that's the big one, is what is the dialogue that continues to happen between Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because quite frankly, we're out of dialogue here. I just don't understand what you could be. That's like texting somebody for 3 weeks trying to convince them to come hang out with you. What are you convincing? What's going on? There's no other options on the table. Like, that's the other part of this. It's not like the Minnesota Vikings are sitting around going, Aaron, we got to convince you too. No, I bet you the Aaron Minnesota Vikings dialogue is very minimal. Very minimal. They have an understanding. He has an understanding of where both sides sit, and they could just hang out and once in a while check in to see how things are going. And obviously retirement's on the table, but again, how long have we had to speak and think about retirement? I just don't know what the dialogue can be. And then on the other side of it, the fact that he invited himself to Pittsburgh, which clearly shows, hey, I have interest in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm really actually considering this. Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan skip Michigan's pro day. Hang out with me for 6-7 hours. Let's go through game plan. Let's meet with coaches. Let's watch film. Let's dive into what we can do together collectively as an organization and a unit in 2025. And then let me take an entire week to continue to think about it while we still talk. Which, again, goes back to the first point. If you spent 6 hours with somebody trying to get to know them, and then you still have to maintain dialogue with these people, what is going on? That's how I view this news. Is simple. Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers, dude, they either failed to wow Aaron Rodgers, completely missed on the pitch to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron really is turning this into the most dramatic situation he possibly can, and he's well aware of what's going on. Or he really, really, truly does not want to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he is just playing them like a fiddle, sitting around going, I got to make sure that they look at this and say maybe. And maybe it was a shot to the Minnesota Vikings to say, hey, I'm serious about this. But either way, on the Steelers side of things, man, it does not look good for Pittsburgh. This looks way worse to have the understanding that he said, I want to come to you. I want to have this meeting that most times ends in a deal. And then I'm going to take a full week afterwards to say, I'm still going to think about it. I still think we're going to need some time, some more time. Absolutely wild. I mean, looks awful for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but most of these things have looked awful for the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout this entire segment. I mean, how low on the board are the Steelers for Aaron Rodgers? And I mean, am I looking at this the wrong way? But in my eyes, the second I read that, the second I heard it, I said, Aaron, man, he wants to be anywhere but Pittsburgh. I could tell you that much. He wants to be anywhere but Pittsburgh, and he's having the hardest time in the world accepting the fact that this is where he probably has to be in 2025.
I think the come to terms situation with Rodgers is coming to terms with the fact that while he probably does, I don't think he doesn't want to come to Pittsburgh. If he didn't want to come to Pittsburgh and it was his only option, it would look a lot different than this. It wouldn't look like Aaron Rodgers showing up unannounced, or at the very least showing up and announcing it last minute and spending 6 hours in the Steelers training facility. Because if he was not interested in Pittsburgh, that could have been done on a Zoom call. That could have been done on a FaceTime. So the fact that he showed up in Pittsburgh, spent the 6 hours in the facility, and then went to New Jersey afterwards, that tells me that there is interest in Pittsburgh. So I think that the fact that he came unannounced doesn't change much in that aspect. What it tells me more than anything is that the Steelers are very desperate to have him be their starting quarterback in 2025. Because if he showed up last minute, he showed up with enough of a lead time that the Steelers canceled their flights to Ann Arbor. Yeah. So if they had any option, they could have said, hey, Aaron, how about you show up? We'll have somebody show you around the facility, and then we'll be there in a couple days because Michigan is one of the top 3 pro days that Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, and the entire contingency like to go to. This just tells me how desperate the Steelers are to have Aaron Rodgers. And to me, it tells me that he is their number one option right now. He is their top priority. And then there is a gap between him and whatever else they have on their to-do list.